Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining our GoToMeeting here. As I'm sure a lot of you are working out of your houses, this is my home office. Right before everything really went kablooey, Donna Mans, who is our office manager, had the foresight to have our home office's cable improved. And so we are totally operational now because Donna, myself, Thomas, who is her assistant, can all operate out of their home offices just as if they're sitting in our own office. So, and by the way, they can get into our accounting program, which takes a lot of bandwidth. But anyway, the point is that we are up and running. The other thing is, you may notice that we're actually headquartered in Metro New York. It would be Western Metro New York, also known as New Jersey. So that's where we are physically. Now, just give you a little tour around the office here. One of the other things you may have noticed here recently is that we did a little bit of a logo redesign. And what we did was we wanted to keep our initials AEW, but for the importing division, we changed the first word to Austral. So as you know, Austral means Southern, and of course we specialize in Southern Hemisphere wines. Estates, again, we specialize in single vineyard and small estate wines. For the wines, considering everybody is wanting to go so green, practically no one has green in their logo, so we thought we'd kind of put that in. And at the very end, it's kind of an exclamation point. You see the stars, and that's what's called the Southern Cross. So when these countries south of the equator were being explored, this is what the navigators used to navigate by, the Southern Cross. Of course, once you're south of the equator, you can't see the North Star, which is what Northern Hemisphere people would navigate by. On the mantle here, interestingly, this is what's called Wineglass Bay. This is in Tasmania, Australia, and it's just a beautiful area. One of the brands we just picked up recently is Nocton, and that vineyard would be located probably right behind the Georgie Orbach bottle, kind of on the far side there. But anyway, this is a sparkling rosé of Pinot Noir, so it's a very, very interesting wine. The other thing about this office is it has a fairly high ceiling, so I'm wondering if you could put your mute button on, activate it, because otherwise there's a lot of echo in this room. So here we are. Where to start? Well, first of all, I hope everyone's safe and sound. We, being where we are in Metro New York, it really hit us pretty hard. But we're certainly dealing with it. And the good news is that all of us are indeed safe and sound. So this is a situation where we really have to be careful here going into this period. As you know, Austral Estates specializes in single vineyard and small estate properties. And they're feeling this the same as everyone is. And I think it's very important that we support one another in this time of financial stress, not only emotional stress. So I think that when you really look at it, it starts at the vineyard, which is where everything starts in our business. It flows through us, Austral Estates, the importer. It flows through you, the distributor, and then you are supporting your stores and restaurants in this period too. But I think when you really look at it, it's important that people on our level, our strata of the supply chain, come out of this in good shape and be able to live through it. So, if you want to look at it from an analogy point of view, it's almost like supporting your favorite restaurant with curbside pickup, because you want to support that restaurant through this. And it kind of is the same thing with us. We want to support our smaller vineyards. We want you to support the smaller importers, whether it's us or whomever, because I think that we supply a very interesting ingredient into the. So, as a matter of fact, if you want to kind of look at it another way, we are obviously competing against some of the really big boys. But if you want to think about the restaurants for one more moment, when you look at the chefs, even in the corporate restaurants, when they go out just for fun, they're going to the smaller, family-owned and operated restaurants themselves, because that's where the innovation is. That's where they're going to see something new. And in their own way, they're supporting that even during good times. So to bring it back to the winery level again, when you look at the smaller wineries, that's where the really interesting things are happening as far as winemaking, viticulture goes. So we definitely want to make sure that these smaller venues are supported through this. And by the way, let's also think about our brokers at American Estates, Austral Estates. They have to pay their mortgages too, and they are very, very dedicated to our portfolio. They know it. They're out there to help you. They're out there to help sell our wines, essentially, with you. So they are a very, very important part of this too. So that was a nice build-up. What's next? Ta-da! No pom-poms. In order to help motivate you, and in order to entice you a bit to support our portfolio, we've come up with a big buy-in program. And one of our people, Kathy Weisbecker, came up with the name, the Wine Stimulus Program. This is not a pom-pom, but it is a prop. So anyway, what it is that it is a special program. It's going to be on a pallet deal, and it's a 20% off mix and match in our entire portfolio. So we're hoping that you can use this as an added incentive to restock with the American Estates portfolio. What we all hope for, of course, is that as the late spring and summer are approaching now, there will be a lot of pent-up demand, and as the restrictions are gradually lifted, there'll be some good business to be had there. So it goes through now. I would suggest that the sooner the better on this. It's really a first come, first served deal. No holds, no back orders, new orders only. So again, this is created so that we can do our own ordering from these small wineries to replenish our stocks, and that we can all basically stay in biz. By the way, the one other thing that's happening here is there's a lot of virtual tastings going on in stores, and we are there to support you with that too, with our own winemakers. And basically our brokers will be contacting you with more of the details on the wine stimulus program, but also to give you some information that if your retailers want to set up virtual tastings with our winemakers, we are there for you in that situation. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do, we're going to put together a couple of very short teaser videos that you can take to your retailers and show them, this is what it would look like, pretty pictures, all this kind of stuff, and then have a virtual tasting at the end of that. So we are definitely here to support you with that also. So I think that's about it. Stay safe and buy lots. Thank you all.